Hey, thought I'd change it up a bit and I'll actually make this video from the front of my classroom so that it's, we're sort of mimicking what normalcy used to be. But anyway, I told a couple of you that I would post a video just sort of explaining the Modern Heroes thing a little bit more. Some of you couldn't make it yesterday to the live session. So we'll just go through some of that real quickly. I'll try to make it short. But then also, if you have questions, some of you have already reached out to me. That's great. But if there are things that you're not sure about, if you're struggling with your topic, stuff like that, just let me know. I think I've been able to help out pretty much everyone. And hopefully we're kind of in a good spot. So anyway, as you look at here, like this is what I already have like the rest of this week's planned, because part of this week is it's sort of just check-ins. And as I mentioned, like in today's post, I even said there's no attendance check-in today. I'm not going to micromanage completely, but I am going to give you a little bit of check-ins as far as like, okay, how are we doing here? So everything that I think you need for the most part is in this Modern Hero Research Project, the thing that went out yesterday, where the assignment yesterday was just to create your presentation, right? So that's all you needed for yesterday. But in here, you'll see like, obviously, this document kind of gives you a template, right? I even included everything that used to be like how I would normally do this if we were in class, but we're not in class right now. So like presentation skills are not going to matter, the length of the presentation. It's going to be a lot about looking at the person that you're assigned, doing some research and figuring out what makes them heroic, kind of giving us some background with that, and then comparing them to the heroes that we've read about in class. And how does a more modern, and I get that some of these are from the early 1900s or so, but that's still a lot more modern than, the Iliad. How do they compare to kind of that historical, traditional, classical definition of a hero? So as you go through that, you're going to be kind of doing some of those things. So do give some background on your person, though. Even though you're not presenting to the class, I still want you to kind of like, who are they, where are they from, stuff like that. Again, time period, some of them are people who are still being heroic to this day. Others are people who were heroic during World War II, kind of different things there. Geographical locations, same thing, like they're from all over the world. Right, like this is not just like a Western civilization sort of topic. You need to connect them to at least 2 heroic characters from main class texts. So you have the Iliad, Beowulf, and Sir Gawain to choose from. The Iliad, you can choose any of the people that are heroic. We had all those debates in class. They're all on the table that you can kind of compare them to. Supplementary material, we don't have a lot of it. We normally we would have read multiple chapters from Joseph Campbell's The Hero of a Thousand Faces. We're not going to do that. We also, in the past, I've had them read a couple works by Plato. We're not going to do that. So all I'm going to ask for this part is that you're going to make connections to at least 3 different steps from the hero's journey for your person, right? And make sure you clearly explain, like if you're saying that's their call to adventure, why, like what happened that was the sort of their aha moment. This is their crossing the threshold, their no turning back sort of point, stuff like that. So that's all. You would just need 3. You do not need all 12. If you want to do all 12, go for it, but you only need 3. And then your conclusion, you're going to look at how do they kind of build off of that traditional definition of a hero, or how do they maybe kind of create their own. How do they recreate that sort of thing, right? So that's sort of what you're looking at. And then in here as well, you have like the rubric, which again, I showed you what I would normally look at, but I kind of took some of that stuff out. And in the same way, like the example presentations, they do a really good job of kind of making those connections. They have pretty much everything you would want to look at. Obviously, some of the expectations there were different because they were setting up to do a 5 to 7 minute presentation in front of class. And then also for your MLA citations, you will obviously need to do MLA citations for your sources on your person, but I do have the citations for the in-class text. So when you're citing anything from Beowulf or Homer or the Iliad or Sir Gawain, these are the citations that you would need. So you can just copy and paste them right there. I forgot to share that. So like this is also in there. I added this yesterday. So if you went in like yesterday morning and you didn't see this, I added it yesterday around noon or so. But so that you don't have to try to guess some of those different things. A couple of you did ask about how to find your topics. Your topics are in here. All these are the unclaimed ones. I do want you to give your topic a go first, but if you are struggling to figure out like what makes them heroic, because that's a big thing. Like you're not arguing whether or not they're a hero. You have to like focus on why they're a hero. And if you're just not sure, reach out to me and we can sort of try to make it work. And obviously this is block 1. You just click on this tab to see block 2. All right, so because there's a couple of you, there's an Olivia in each class, there's a Colin in each class. So just make sure you know which one you're sort of working on. The other thing that I want to talk about real quickly is how I'm sort of checking in with you this week. The research document I posted yesterday, right? So in this research document, this is just going to be kind of a central location. Like, this is what I found so far. It's making sure that you don't just put this off, right? I'm going to have this due next week, Wednesday. That way we're not rushing right to the finish line. You only need 3 sources outside of the in-class texts about your person, but I do have a spot for a 4th one, so you don't need this, but I just kind of created that space. You need at least 2 class connections, so I had those spots there, and then 3 hero's journey steps. And so you would just kind of put your stuff in here. So like you'll see for tomorrow, your assignment, your check-in is going to be that you have to have at least 2 of these, sections filled out, right? Proving that you've started thinking about it. Yesterday you created your presentation, but that was very basic, like you created a blank presentation. But now that you at least started to think about it, I don't want it to become kind of pushed off on the back burner. Friday's check-in then is going to be, I think I have that you have to have 5 of these done, 5 or 6. I can't even remember right now what I said it at, but it's not completely done, but it's to the point where you're going to be in a good spot to be able to finish up, because then we have a 3-day weekend. But so that is, that's kind of what we're looking at with this, right? So if you have questions, reach out to me. I'll try to explain it as much as I can. But you're just kind of looking at, okay, we've talked about all these heroes from centuries ago. How do they compare to people who have been heroic now? Obviously, you're not going to find a lot of people who, this person fought a dragon, or this person cut off a guy's head and then had to go face that guy again. Like, that's not very realistic, right? But you're looking at the basis of their heroic nature. So we talked about the knightly tenets. Those are things that relate to today. We talked about leadership and bravery and those expectations of a hero. Those are things that absolutely apply to today. So that's sort of what we're building off of. Again, though, if you have questions, if you're not sure about something, just let me know. Don't let it stew and kind of sit there being confused and sort of frustrated. Otherwise, like I said, tomorrow and Friday, there will be check-ins. Thursday, there won't be an attendance check-in as well. Like I said, I'm going to kind of give you that sort of freedom that, this is that final thing. Like, we're not doing Hamlet. We're not doing Grendel. We're cutting out some other stuff because, it's the nature of the beast with the world that we're in right now. But if there's anything else I can help you with, just let me know. All right, take care.